So Kidzmet's campus account is a new path for us as an organization. We had originally started about 7 years ago, really working through what worked well for the parent community and the individual teacher community in terms of helping them understand how their kids were kind of uniquely wired to most enjoy learning. And as we've gotten further down this road, we had much more interest in not only in individual teachers wanting to join Kidzmet, but also grade level teams and schools and ultimately districts. And so the Kidzmet campus account is something that's a solution for that. We have different sized groups at different levels, but the main goal of this is to make sure that all of the teachers have access to all of the students that they might interact with. So like if you've got a grade level team for a third grade in an elementary school, then you also want to have the principal have access to them, the school psychologist have access to them, potentially special needs teachers having access to them, as well as, music teachers or PE teachers, just to make sure that everyone on the school team has a really good understanding of how each student individually likes to learn. It's particularly helpful in the sense of struggling learners and also in terms of trying to put together lesson plans that will most resonate with that particular class makeup for the year. So the Kidzmet campus account is put together in a way that's a little bit different than actually very different than what you've seen before on the Kidzmet individual teacher and parent side, in the sense that it gives you a whole lot more graphical data. So as you can kind of come in here and see, we've got, all of the students who are loaded in here, and you can search by individual student name. Teachers, you see who's active and who and how many are in the database entirely. So the active teachers are the ones who are teaching this year versus ones that may have been in there in the past. Students by personality type, you not only have a really good graphical representation of the different students and how many fall into each bucket, and this is at a district level, but you also get breakouts of extroverted versus introverted, intuitive sensing, thinking, feeling, and then the judging, perceiving, since all of those have different ramifications for how those kids really enjoy learning. Students by learning style, we've not only included what their preferred learning styles are, but also the general enthusiasm level, because just because it might not be their preferred learning style or their preferred way of recalling information, it doesn't mean that they're not necessarily enthusiastic about it. And that's the same thing that you run into with multiple intelligences, where, here are the preferred multiple intelligences for each category. However, then you can come in here and see that, even though the preference isn't for kinesthetic, as an example, as their dominant multiple intelligence, it also shows that they have a really high level of enthusiasm for it. So bringing that kind of insight into teaching plans can be really helpful. Then we have not only the students by personality type, but we also have the teachers by personality type. So, and again, you can dig into any of these and get individual student names, and I'll show you a little bit of that platform in a minute, or that level of the platform in a minute. And this is, like I mentioned, this is for the administrators. So, and this is the district level administrator platform that you're seeing right now. When you upload your students to Kidzmet, which is done through FTP, and then we refresh the data every night, you give different levels of permissions to different people. So you may have school level administrative responsibility or district level related responsibility, or just individual grade level responsibilities. And then that's all determined in the file. So you'll only see the level that's correct for you at the time. The student assessment status tells you which kids are unstarted versus which ones are incomplete and which ones are complete, so that way you can get a full list of, and again, this is available at the district, at the school, and at the individual grade and at the teacher level. So that way everyone has a good sense of who within their school still needs to complete and how much they have left to complete. So you can see here that, we've got 93% done on the personality type side and 94% done on the multiple intelligence and cognitive style side. So, and some of them are very nearly finished, so they probably only missed a couple of questions, versus some of them have really just begun the process. Being able to, I'm going to come back out for a second, being able to come in and you can check your complete students, and then you get the level of detail that you need for each of those students. In terms of, here we'll look at Antonia, we'll look at Brandon. So this, because it's at the district level, it takes a while to fill in because you've got 16,000 student records. But here's one example. So Kaylin Nolf, here are all the teachers that she's got, because she is she's high school 11th grade, so she's got all of these different people for all the different periods, and it gives you a good idea of, she's an IFP personality type, she's prefers a kinesthetic kind of recall or cognitive style, and her dominant multiple intelligences are interpersonal, intrapersonal, and logical intelligences, and she's a complementary fit with the Brian Plater, who is the teacher that we're looking at right now. You can also go in and view a complete snapshot of her. Here's how Kaylin most enjoys learning. If Kaylin is a student that is particularly struggling, or that you want to have really easy access to as an administrator, or at any of the different levels of access for the Kidzmet campus, you can just go ahead and bookmark her, and then as soon as you come back to your dashboard, you'll see that, or your primary dashboard, you will see that here she is indicated right here. You can also do the same thing with teachers. So if you want to dig into a certain teacher, if there are different challenges, then you can do that as well. All of this information is available to you as an export, so that way you can go ahead and make sure that what you've got on your system internally is also what we've got within our system. And then because we've partnered with Simpler Systems, who has significant levels of database capabilities and enterprise level database integrations, that's part of the reason that we partnered with them, is we can start to get really interesting data coming out of this campus account. This is what you get for the base level campus account, which gives you, it's $15 per teacher per year. And it gives you this level of insight. However, you can choose to work with Simpler to really overlay that data and say, okay, well, how does that teacher-student matchup correlate to what the absence rates look like for our students? Which curriculum packages are working best for the maximum number of students, or which curriculum packages don't seem to be working, and does it relate to preferred learning style kinds of types? So does it relate to, does this particular curriculum package really work for extroverts but not for introverts? Or does this curriculum package really work for judgers versus perceivers? And how can you better address the way that you put together classroom-based learning for each of the kids? The other nice thing that the Kidzmet campus account has, that we also have within our individual teacher and student packages, is the ability to be able to print that snapshot. And this is the main reason for the genesis of Kidzmet, is to really get not only the teachers on the page with how to make learning more fun for kids, but also to get parents on that same page as well, so that way they have a really great understanding of how to extend learning into the home. And just because they like to learn one way as a kid doesn't necessarily mean that their kids like to learn in that way. So being able to get them more informed about how each one of their children uniquely like to learn, that helps make a better school-home connection in terms of the ways that they're being taught, or the ways that they can extend learning. So that is an example of our Kidzmet campus demo. If you'd like to get more insights on it, I would be happy to schedule an individual walkthrough and answer any questions that you might have. Just like we do with our Kidzmet individual and teacher accounts. We also have this resource library that's available that has all of the different books that we've put together and printable templates that we've put together. And we're really looking forward to working with more and more schools and districts to overlay grade data, absence data, any kinds of data that you think would be interesting to take a look at, to see what's working, and what's working not only for your school or your district, but what's working for, you know, districts as a whole, or students as a whole, or teachers as a whole, really unleashing that data. Thanks so much.